I hate him. I grated out for the umpteenth time as I walked through the corridor, hands clenched tight in fist and eyes burning with rage. Other students were giving me looks. I couldn't blame them though. If someone walked through the campus drenched from head to toe, I would find it weird too. I avoided their amused stares as I ducked my head down and quietly made my way towards the locker room. I needed to change, and after that, I needed to take revenge from him, Kim Taehyung, the person who solely existed to make my life miserable. I'll kill you, I muttered under my breath, my body fuming with the sheer urge of strangling him to death. But he decided to disappear after doing the deed. Kim Taehyung was impossible, annoying, cocky. I hated how good he was at everything, how his replies were crisp and his sarcasm sharper than mine. And the stupid smug that seemed to be permanently etched on his lips, it ached me in the worst way possible. I hated it because it made me feel something I shouldn't. I always tried to avoid him, to not react to his infuriating remarks, or to not cross paths with him. But he just always found ways to mess with me. And this morning, he decided it would be a great idea to startle me and then use the very opportunity to push me into the swimming pool. Damn it, I could feel my temper rising as his smug face flashed before my eyes. You are done once I get my hands on you, Kim Taehyung. I exhaled sharply, my pace increasing with fury. I opened the door to the locker room with more force than necessary. I slammed the door shut and stormed towards my locker. I always kept an extra pair of clothes, all thanks to the dear Kim Taehyung. Oh, he again messed with you? I turned around upon hearing a familiar voice. My best friend stood behind me, worried and curious. My bag was in her hand, and while hers was loosely slung over her shoulder. I swear to God, I'm gonna do something indecent if he doesn't stop getting on my nerves. Ridiculous being. I grumbled under my breath, barely hanging by the edge. I heard someone threw his stuff in the trash bin yesterday. Was it you? She asked, raising an eyebrow as she slumped on the table. I looked away as her suspicious eyes stared right through my soul. Well, alright, I was no less than him, but could anyone blame me? He provoked me to do so. So it was you, she stated as a matter of fact. I opened and closed my mouth like a fish out of water. I was trying so hard to defend myself, but who was I kidding? Gio knew me inside out. I saw no point in playing innocent. Fine, I did, but he shouldn't have cheated in the debate. I was supposed to win it, not him. I muttered as I moved behind the curtains to change. My mood was still sour due to the last day's defeat. It didn't matter why I lost, but who I lost to, and ain't no way I was ready to lose against him. Oh, come on, just kiss already and get over it. I paused and then flung the curtains open to shoot her a sharp glare. I must have looked scary because she flinched looking at me. Kiss? And him? Hell no. I'm way too good for an asshole like him. You know what? I'd rather kiss an ugly, stinky frog than him. I scoffed as I drew the curtains again to change my pants. Keep lying to yourself, but I can sense the enemies to lovers tension every time you both are around each other. Everyone else except you two can feel it. Have you ever noticed how you both look at each other like the moment you are alone, you would devour? She halted when I stepped out, throwing glares at her. Delusional much? Stop reading the stupid books. You are really losing your mind. Your ship won't sail, babe. It doesn't have a base to begin with. I grabbed my bag, storming out of the locker room confidently, afraid that if I stayed a bit longer, I might start believing her delusional theories, and I didn't want to go insane like my darling best friend. Although I appeared aloof from the outside or pretended to be unaffected, I was equally troubled inside. Jion's words tugged at my heart, touching something they shouldn't. Fire's hands moved at a high pace, scribbling on the paper. Her eyes constantly flickered between the screen of her laptop, the paper, and the open books in front of her. Taehyung seemed to have disappeared. It was as if he vanished into the air. He was neither on the campus nor did he attend a single class. Even after looking for him for hours, Wine couldn't find him. Thus, she gave up and decided to work on her research papers instead. Hustle a few more hours and she might be able to submit them by the end of the day. Do you think anybody likes to read long paragraphs? She flinched, hearing that familiar, annoying voice near her. She snapped her head towards him, eyes instinctively narrowing. He was sitting beside her, flipping through her printout. His eyes cautiously flickered through the pages, judging every nook and corner. Where did he come? And where did he come from? Where was he hiding that she wouldn't find him? And even if he decided to show up, it was yet again to get under her skin. The text is boring, the long paragraphs are exhausting. Why didn't you summarize them in pointers? There's a dire need for improvement in your work. Maybe try originality next time. He lifted his eyes from the papers to her, and the smug look was back on his face, the same infuriatingly hot smug twist on his lips, and that snapped something inside Ryan. Her hand shot out, snatching those papers from his hand. Look in the mirror before commenting on my formatting style. Try shutting up next time and put your opinion in your. Aren't you getting too obsessed with it? Commenting about it now and then? He muttered quietly, his eyes brightening with mischief. Fire leaned back when he inched closer, her gaze stuck momentarily on his lips. She gulped a lump in her throat, her heart thudding wildly. She hated how everything related to him made her lose her mind. She shook off her thoughts and looked away, but her gaze stopped on his veiny arms. Oh God, how annoying it was that her heart skipped a beat looking at those very obvious, perky veins on his arms. How would it feel to run a finger along them, or to be held in those arms, or to wrap arms around those to seek warmth and protection, or those veiny hands wrapped around her neck? She inhaled sharply, breaking the chain of her thoughts before they could run even wilder. Meanwhile, Taehyung was too busy admiring her long hair that flowed perfectly on her shoulders and cascaded down to her lower back. His hands itched to remove some baby hair away from her face, but before he could act upon his impulse, Wine interrupted. I think we need to talk about the morning. You threw me in the swimming pool. How should I respond to that? By drowning you in the same pool or by pulling your hair out? The moment of haze passed as quickly as it came. Now both of them were back to being at each other's throats. Are we really gonna pretend you didn't throw my bag in the trash? You should be thankful I dumped you in a pool and not in a gutter. She scoffed loudly, anger surging within. As if I'll let you do things to me. I swear I'll make you regret coming to this earth. Next time, it will be you in the trash, just where you belong. Give me the doge back, Taehyung. Her voice rose a little, and so did Taehyung's temper. You crazy witch, don't make me do something that'll make you cry. I believe in gender equality, you know. I won't hesitate punching you square on your face. By then, the library had fallen completely silent. All the eyes were staring at them. Wine was about to shout back, but the realization hit her. She looked around, awkwardly. The curious stares, the stares of really, right in front of me reading a book. The ones would take it somewhere else. She gave everyone an apologetic smile. The librarian looked at them through her glasses and pressed a finger to her lips, insinuating to them to keep it low. They shared a look, glaring at each other, and then stood up to bow apologetically. It's all because of you. You don't leave a chance to embarrass me, she whispered, quietly yet fiercely. Taehyung craned his neck to dart a glare at her. And your accusing finger always finds its way to me, no? I'm always an easy target for you. Your boldness comes up only to bully the weak. Her jaw dropped in disbelief. Bully? Weak? Did he just try to play victim in front of her? If Vine was angry before, she was trembling with rage now. Weak? And you? Oh, come on, you are a wicked monster, miles away from being weak. You are the one who always seeks for a chance to bully me. Did you just call me a bully? How dare you? He backed his hands on the table and stood up with a jolt. Vine too jolted from her spot, the chair loudly scraping against the floor. I called you wicked and a monster too. What will you do, huh? She snapped, her voice loud and firm, matching the level of his fury. Their glares collided like two swords clashing sharply. There was a pin drop silence once again, the faint hum of the ceiling fans piercing through the silence, making them hyper aware of the mess they had created. The angry stares of others made something crawl down their spines. They smiled, apologetically, a wild effort to fix the matter, but it was too late. The librarian was already walking towards them. Don't you dare to step inside the library again, nuisance. She pushed them both out of the library and closed the door on their faces. Taehyung ran a hand through his hair, clearing his throat to shake off the embarrassment. Meanwhile, Vaya smoothed her pants, her cheeks slightly pink due to humiliation. They got kicked out of the library, got rebuked by the librarian right in front of the other students. That was a straight jab to their reputation in the campus. Happy now? You humiliated me in front of them. Here goes my years of reputation. He scoffed, trying to play it cool. You pumpkinhead! And here went another argument, right in the middle of the corridor. They were always up for a fight, no matter when and where. It was late, the corridors were almost empty. Vine had just submitted her research paper and stormed out of the professor's office. After Taehyung made comments about her formatting style, she couldn't bring herself to go with the original printout. She improved where it was necessary, added some more points, and finally submitted it before the end of the day. Though he was appearing time and again to annoy her, she managed to get her work done, and more efficiently, all thanks to his constructive criticism. He is so annoying, I hate him. She muttered to herself, but did she really hate him? Or was she trying to convince herself that it was hate? She stepped into the elevator on the sixth floor. Her eyes burned in exhaustion and her shoulders hunched with the tension of the day's activities. All she needed was good food and a warm bed to relax and rejuvenate. Just as the doors were closing, a voice called out, "Hold the door." Instinctively, Vine pressed the button, but it was too late before she realized it was him, Taehyung, again. He stepped in, brushing past her with his usual confidence. Vine heaved a loud sigh. Can this day get any worse? Give me a damn break. Well, feelings are mutual. He retorted with a smirk, leaning against the wall across from her. He folded his arms across his chest, staring at her as if to irk her without actively doing anything. When a few moments passed and Vine didn't speak a word, he spoke up, to rile her up or to get any reaction. You are welcome, by the way. I basically helped improve your entire thesis with that critic. The professor will be impressed. He smirked in victory when she tilted her head towards him. I'm going to pretend I didn't hear that because I'm too tired to play along in your petty games, she replied smugly, rolling her eyes. Taehyung opened his mouth to retort, but before he could speak a word, bang! The elevator screeched, shuddered violently, and jerked to a stop. The lights flickered and went off, leaving only a faint emergency glow. Silence, darkness. Both of them froze. What the hell was that? Did it just stop suddenly? She whispered, panic already filling in. Taehyung pressed the buttons. Nothing. It was stuck between two floors with no way out. Great, just great. She pulled out her phone, desperate to call for help, but unfortunately there was no signal. No signal? Damn it! Of all people to be stuck with. She trailed off, glancing at Taehyung once, but not actually speaking her mind. As if he caught the hint behind her words, darted a pointed look at her. You think I planned this? Believe me, this is torture for me too. He shot back, rolling his eyes and moved back to his previous spot. They went quiet for a moment, looking anywhere but at each other. Do you have service? She asked after a long moment of awkward silence. He held his phone up. Dead. I was going to charge it at home. They both stood silently in the dim backup light. A weird stillness settled in the metal box. It had only been 5 minutes, but her mind had already started racing. She looked heavenwards with complaining eyes. When I said, can this day get any worse? I wasn't challenging you. I was pleading for mercy. Spare me. Taeyong rolled his eyes at her dramatics. 5 minutes and she was already losing her mind. She went quiet after that. The silence was suffocating. Sweat slowly gathered on her back as the minutes stretched painfully long. She sank to the floor, hugging her knees. He did the same on the opposite side. What if we die here? She spoke after a few long moments of silence, half joking, half serious. Then at least I won't have to hear your sarcastic remarks in class again. He replied dryly. Though the situation was tough, still his sarcasm remained intact. Shot him a glare, and I won't have to endure your smug face. She countered with the same sarcasm. Their eyes met. They stared at each other quietly in the dim light and then chuckled softly. I'll miss it though, he added softly, too quietly that she missed it. What did you say? He sighed and looked away, but didn't repeat himself. 15 minutes passed, then 30. The air got warmer, the silence louder. Her breath got heavier with time. With every moment ticked quietly, panic surged deep into her bones. Don't panic, maintenance will fix it. He tried to reassure her, though his voice wasn't too confident. He passed a water bottle to her. She took a few steps and tried to calm herself. In that moment of fear, his presence worked like armor. To ease the tension, she decided to break the silence. So, you care, huh? Her voice came out quieter, but laced with teasing. Taehyung raised an eyebrow, surprised by the sudden shift in her mood. Of course, I'm not a monster Ryan, just a very honest critique. She laughed, just a soft sound in the darkness. A hint of smile broke out on his lips, and for the first time, it didn't feel like they were enemies. More time passed, 45 minutes and then a whole hour. No sounds outside, no movements. The elevator remained still, as if suspended not just between floors, but between truths neither of them had ever dared to say. She leaned her head against the wall, voice shaking with fear. You think they'll get us out? Eventually, he said, but his voice lacked certainty. With the passing time, he started to panic too, but he was trying to be strong for her, not scare her than she already was. I really don't want to die here, she blurted out, her voice filled with fear. The heat, the suffocating walls, everything was scaring her. You always go full drama queen under stress, he joked, a futile attempt to ease the tension, to make her feel that there was still a hope, that they would be out soon. But she was serious. No, really, what if this is it? Trapped in a metal box with the guy I spent 3 years hating? Hating, that's a really strong word, Ryan. He answered softly. No smirk, no sarcasm, just unusual softness which was really there for her. Fine, disliking a lot, but now I'm sitting here sweating, scared, and my brain won't shut up, and I'm just thinking, I don't want to live this life having lied. Anxiety made her heart pound, and something about the silence, the vulnerability, made the air feel heavy with unspoken words. I never hated you, Taehyung. I hated how you made me feel. I hated that my heart would race every time we fought. I hated that I would wear my best outfits on presentation days just in case you noticed. I hated that your stupid smirk made my stomach flip. He didn't speak, didn't move, just stare silently without blinking. That made her heart pound. She almost regretted unraveling her hurt, but she didn't want to back off now. I hated how much I liked you, she continued, voice cracking with the rush of emotions. Her throat felt tight, and his silence only made her feel worse. Why are you saying this now? He whispered. She lifted her gaze to him, searching for a hint of teasing or mocking, but there was none, just blank face. Because if we die here, I don't want to die lying to myself. Her voice trembled. His lack of response was only making her more vulnerable than she already was. She had no way to escape. I like you, Taehyung. Maybe I have for a long time. All this while, I was trying to convince myself that I hated you. But it wasn't hate, it was fear. You always made me feel things I didn't want to admit. And the way you challenged me, I hated that I liked it, that I liked you. Her voice blurred as a mere whisper by the end. The gravity of her confession hung over her like a heavy burden. It made her feel small under his gaze. Her cheeks burned, her heart raced like a wild drum. She had just confessed everything to the one person she never thought she could be vulnerable with. And he decided not to say a word. His silence only felt like a splash of shame. She looked away, embarrassed, cursing herself for letting her emotions take over her judgment. Then suddenly he moved across the floor, closing the space between them. His fingers brushed her chin, gently making her face him. I didn't plan to die today either, but if I do, I'm glad I'm with you. Her breath hissed. The way he spoke with utter sincerity made her feel something in her chest. I liked you too, always did, but you were so fiery, so untouchable. I couldn't find a way to reach you without starting a fight. I didn't know how else to be near you. He chuckled, his chest vibrating softly. She smiled too, a small twitch of lips, genuine but full of shyness. You weren't just brilliant, you were brave and honest and loud. You always filled up a room like it was your own world, and I always wanted to be part of that world. His hands moved to cup her face. She leaned against his warmth. His confession made her heart swell with happiness. Her eyes teared up with joy, and her very essence relaxed under his gaze. He leaned in. She did too. Her lips parted instinctively, and there, trapped between steel walls and floating emotions, he kissed her, not out of impulse but relief, like it had been waiting to happen for years. His lips moved against hers, soft, hesitant, warm, like every unspoken word finally had a voice. They parted away, foreheads resting against each other's, breaths mingling together, hearts beating in sync. It felt like a dream, an unrealistic one. I thought you hated me too much to ever feel the same. I thought the same about you. Suddenly, the elevator jolted again. A voice echoed through the panel. Maintenance team here. We are getting the doors open now. They both pulled apart, stunned. They both stood, trying to fix their clothes and pretend like they hadn't just confessed their entire hurts in that steel box. The door slowly creaked open. Two staff members stared in confusion as Wyan and Taehyung stepped out, flushed, disheveled but oddly calm. As Wyan walked out, Taehyung jogged after her, gently taking her hand, lacing her fingers with his. You sure this isn't just a post-traumatic confession? You still like me, right? Shut up, she muttered, leaning into him. Her cheeks were still red from the earlier kiss. Outside, the world continued spinning as if nothing had happened, but inside, something had shifted. A week later, Wayan sat next to Taehyung in the campus library, sharing a bag of chips and her study notes. Still want to beat me in the finals? Of course, but now I'll kiss you after, she said, bumping his shoulder. He grinned, pulling her closer. He looked around. Upon seeing everyone busy in their own world, he stole a small pack from her. She gasped in surprise, blood rushing to her cheeks almost instantly. Now every debate ended with a smirk and a wink. Every fight turned into flirting, and every sarcastic insult was followed by a secret note passed in the class. They were still rivals, but now they were also each other's reason to win. They had found a home in each other. And sometimes it just takes a broken elevator to fix what's been waiting to fall into place all along.